Before I read the testimony of the person who is held here, Kathy asked me to say a couple of words about why we are holding this event today in particular. As Kathy mentioned, this facility opened in 1994. On June 18th, 1995, there was an uprising of the detainees who were here, who were mainly African asylum seekers, and in that uprising, we see the people who were detained here fighting for their human rights against the dehumanizing detention that they were forced to live under. And you'll hear testimony from people who were here at this time, but I think it's really important to note that the people who participated in that uprising had gone through all of the quote-unquote right channels beforehand. They had complained to the officials. They held a hunger strike before that. And when they had no relief, when no one listened to them, then they rose up together. And they didn't harm any person, any of the guards. No one was harmed, but they did harm the facility. They took out their anger on this warehouse that is unfit for human beings to live inside. So that's part of the reason why we are gathering here today, to recognize that anniversary, which happened tomorrow in 1995. And of course, tomorrow is also Father's Day. So we are recognizing the fathers who are held here and cannot be with their children. So I'm going to read a testimony now from someone who was here in 1995. The reason I am seeking asylum, I wrote in my limited written English, is that I am a young girl of 18 years, and when my father, who was my legal guardian, passed away, I was sold into an arranged marriage without my consent and against my will. This man, which I am being forced to marry, is old enough to be my father, has many wives, and has requested that I be circumcised. I'm not sure how the public interest was served by my incarceration at this facility, which was called Esmore at the time. All I know is that when I arrived at Newark Airport, there was a bed available at Esmore. INS was paying a huge amount of money, more than $9 million a year, to run the detention center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. $9 million, and they fed us inedible meals and gave us used, stained, tattered clothing to wear. $9 million, and I wasn't allowed to have a second blanket. $9 million, and the doctor wouldn't give me any medicine for my rash. I started crying. I can't stay here. I can't. Those are the words of Fauzia Kasinja, who was detained here in 1995 and 1996.
Good morning. I'm going to read what she just said in Spanish. La razón por la que estoy solicitando asilo, escribí en mi limitado inglés, es que soy una niña de 18 años y cuando mi papá, quien era mi tutor legal, falleció, me vendieron a un matrimonio concertado sin mi consentimiento y contra mi voluntad. Este hombre con quien me forzaron a casarme tiene la edad suficiente para ser mi padre, tiene varias esposas y solicitó que me circunciden. No estoy segura de cómo mi encarcelamiento sirvió al interés público en Esmore. Todo lo que sé es que cuando llegué al aeropuerto de Newark había una cama disponible en Esmore. El INS, que es ahora ICE, estaba pagando una enorme cantidad, más de $9 millones al año, para administrar el centro de detención de Elizabeth, New Jersey. $9 millones, y nos dan una comida incomible, y nos dan ropa usada, manchada y deshilachada para usar. $9 millones, y no me permitieron tener una segunda cobija. $9 millones, y el doctor no me daba medicina para mi salpullido. Yo comencé a llorar. No me puedo quedar aquí, no puedo. Fauzia Kasinja, detenida en Esmore, 1995 a 1996.
Hi friends, I'm Wit, and I'm going to read from Hawa Jama, her deposition in the ultimately successful lawsuit that she filed against the INS. sorry, I just need to. Jama v. INS. Jama was a refugee from Somalia where she had witnessed members of her immediate family murdered by the state. She was detained here at Esmore from August 24th, 1994 to June 18th, 1995. I complained personally to every INS person, every Esmore official, to guards all the time. We complaining all the things we had in Esmore. I mean the dorms, everything, the lights which were left on at night, the dirty, we didn't have soap, all the time the urine was smelling, we didn't have a choice. The guards were so mean to us and they yelled all the time. They acting like they were our boss and were me and the other asylum seekers as criminal, worse than criminals. I thought I'd come to this country to save my life, to ask asylum. And they put me in jail, hell. I can describe hell. Esmore was hell. In jail, criminals, thieves, drug dealers, and killers, but they have rights. But Esmore, asylum seekers in Esmore, they didn't have nothing rights. The criminal people, they know what they did and they know why they were there, and they knew the day they get released and be free. But I didn't know. I was asylum seeker. I knew I come hard time and horrible things, bad things. I came to save myself, and I've been jailed without no right.
Hi, I'm going to read that in Spanish. Mi queja personalmente a cada persona del INS, a cada oficial de Esmore, a las guardias todo el tiempo. Nos quejamos todas las cosas que teníamos en Esmore. Quiero decir, los informatorios, todo, las luces que se quedaron prendidas toda la noche, lo sucio, no teníamos jabón, todo el tiempo la orina estaba oliendo. No teníamos una decisión. Los guardias fueron muy mal con nosotros y nos gritaban todo el tiempo. Actuaban como si fueran nuestro jefe y eran. Yo y los otros solicitantes de asilo como criminales, peor que criminales. Pensé que vine a este país para salvar mi vida, para pedir asilo, y me pusieron en el cárcel infierno. Puedo describir el infierno. Esmore era un infierno. En el cárcel criminales, ladrones, traficantes y asesinos, pero ellos tienen derechos. Pero Esmore, solicitantes de asilo en Esmore, ellos no tienen nada de derechos. La gente criminal, ellos saben qué hicieron y saben por qué estaban ahí. Y ellos saben el día que iban a ser libertades y serán libres. Pero yo no sabía. Yo era un solicitante de asilo. Yo sabía que vine fuerte y cosas horribles, cosas malas. Yo vine a salvarme y fui encarcelada sin ningún derecho.